Hey, 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 welcome to another episode of Meet the Shoe. I'm Sade.
I'm Nina. What up, Wednesday?
Happy Wednesday, guys. So yeah, our buddy. Oh,
Not our
Nicki,
buddy now.
now Nicki, can't you see?
Oh,
Now
wow.
she's streaming to Facebook. Here we go. There they go. Remove. I'm gonna have to remove it.
Why? What happened?
Oh, see, this place here, this app here is messing up. So, uh,
StreamYard.
yeah. So, hmm. Let me go back. I'll be right back. That's not gonna work. Okay. Well, forget it.
Okay, so do we want to cover well you guys, so Nicki Minaj paid, was it 15 grand to
Yes.
get her citizenship?
Oh, she did. She did
Yeah.
get it. Okay. When did she
Yeah,
get it? When was it approved?
she okay, so she was with Trump at one of the I guess today,
It was called the Account Summit.
the
And,
account summit, yeah. Yep, Nicki Minaj, she's with Revolt. Nicki Minaj speaks at Donald Trump's account summit. So let's
mm,
take a listen.
I am
hey, Chi.
probably the president's number one fan. And that's not going to change.
Okay.
And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work. Okay? He has a lot
Why she
of
changed her
force
voice all the
behind
time?
him, and God is protecting him. Amen.
Well, we already know that Nikki is not that bright. So
Here's the thing. What I'm not liking about her, right? Is that, let me turn this. I'm trying to stop this so I could
probably the president's
read what she had put as far as putting her paying for her immigration status, right? They're saying that you can pay 15,000, and it really is for the immigration attorney,
right.
here's there was a reel that's been going around from Ronald Reagan stating that um the land is built for the free for immigrants, right?
Right.
And you're not even supposed to be sent out of here the way that they're sending people out of here. You're supposed to have the due process. You're supposed to be able to go in front of the immigration
Yes.
status and explain. And again, I know I be on you about this, Sade, but explain exactly again when a couple is married, right? Because remember, I was talking to you last week about how there was a couple from San Diego that they arrested her, and they were assuring her husband that she was going to be okay. She spoke very well English. She wouldn't even have known that she was immigrant, I guess, but she spoke very well English. She had been over here a long time. She was married. They saw the married pictures. They had been together for years, whatever. They were still together. She did get out, though. And she had an immigration attorney. She wasn't in jail long, maybe a week or two.
Yeah, because she had immigration. She was a citizen. She was a American citizen. They're married now. She probably got her green card years ago, probably 3 years after they got married. So
well, she was saying something about it was I guess it hadn't all the way, she wasn't all the way certified in American. That's what I wanted to know as far as like when you're married, do you it's a certificate of marriage or just the license?
They do the license, a certificate of marriage, plus and then the citizenship is another separate process.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite sure she did one step of process to get in the U.S. and then the other one once they see how long they've been together, and if they're together and stuff, they go through immigration again. I'm assuming sometimes immigration wants to see you once a year, depending on the person. You know what I'm saying? What country they're from. If it's 6 months or a year or so, something like that. So yeah, but it's kind of sad that they don't get the offer. They don't get the chance to have the due process, and that saying that people that go to prison, the hardened criminals they're talking about, there are immigrants. So when a person from Ecuador, Venezuela, or Jamaica, or any that's not in U.S. born, they commit a crime and they go to prison and get a prison sentence. A lot of times, they still have due process. They do their prison time. They meet up with immigration right before they release. Either 9 times out of 10, they will send them back to their home country where they're from, Mexico or Jamaica. They're not letting them back in the streets of the state they were in. So Minnesota is really good at when somebody does time in prison that's not a U.S. citizen, that's an immigrant, that was not a naturalized citizen in the U.S., and they end up going to immigration, have their due process, the trial or whatever they have, another trial after doing all their time, and that country comes and get them. Minnesota is good at making sure they go back to either Mexico, Venezuela, or anything like that. So as far as the president and Kristi Noem saying there's Minnesota's releasing hardened criminals into the streets, that is not true. I've seen so many people get out of feds or the state prison and go straight back home.
Okay.
So I don't know where they get this hardened criminals and stuff. Maybe it is somebody, but even then, if they're hardened criminals, some of them don't even have a record. You're probably looking for them. I don't see how I can probably see a handful of people that's probably on the FBI list or the Minnesota wanted list that is a foreigner. Okay.
Right, because from my understanding, everybody that they've been arresting is citizens, right?
Yes, U.S. citizens. You just wreaking havoc in the state that you're mad that man ran against you with Kamala Harris, number one.
Right.
Number two, it is a blue state and been a blue state since voting started. You just want to retaliate against all the Democratic. You made it politicized, you know what I'm saying, which is so stupid. I've never heard of this being done in life before. And you're loud and bodacious with it. And then Nicki Minaj saying something about him being bullied. No, he's the bully. He's never been bullied. He always been the person that ran the reins of whatever he did and whatever he wanted. He was on top of it. So I don't see him as being a bully. Being bullied. He is the bully.
So there is 4. There's 4 women that we have that we want to allow, we want to elaborate on. So 3. Jasmine Crockett. I think her name is Anaya. I forget Anaya's last name. Sorry, I'll say it when we press it again. And then well, let's just take a listen and then we'll elaborate on. Okay. These are the things that's been in headlines this week and people aren't really paying attention to when it comes to why ICE is in Minnesota. So
right.
You look at some of the images out of Minneapolis last night. Look at this vehicle. Look at what it says. It says F ICE. You have these individuals who are putting their middle finger, proudly so, at the camera. People don't do this without encouragement from people in power who make them feel like it's okay.
Interesting. Now, let me add a little something to this.
People don't do this without encouragement from people in power who make them feel like it's okay. Who should?
Okay, so what was happening with that was it was the representative was the one that the lady that said that she wanted our votes. That's who was speaking.
Okay.
And so she was stating that we're being violent towards the agents, right? That we're the ones that is attacking them, and that's why Alex Pretty was murdered, right? So before I put Jasmine Crockett on and Anaya on, I wanted to let everybody hear what Mega is stating, right? They're doing the blame game, and they're covering a smoke screen, right, for us to distract from the Epstein files. Now, as everyone has noticed that ever since this Epstein's files have came out, that's when ICE came.
Yes.
I also stated earlier on our other platform that Amy Bach was the cover up to use, right, to come here, but for the fraud, right? Everybody's focused on the Somalians, like you know, like you were stating, right? That it's good that they were introduced to that money from her, but they kept it within their family, right? You can't be mad at them for that, right?
No, right.
They were, and she put on the people that she was around. She was around those people, so she wanted them to eat because she was eating, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So with her facing up to 20 years, I don't see her getting 20 years, right?
She hasn't got her time yet. I think she did, didn't she?
No, it said up to, because there were some other people that weren't, I guess that wasn't sentenced. There's still people, they're still going through court right now.
Yes, they are. And it was a total of, the last I heard was 78 people.
Okay, see.
Mm-hmm.
So with her being 78, just this is a state case, right? Or is it federal?
This is federal.
Okay. So what me knowing about federal, that usually the person that's at the top gets sentenced last. So everybody has to take a plea, or everybody has to be found guilty. What the smart thing would have been for everyone to plead guilty. She wouldn't get that much time.
Right.
But nobody knows that if they don't have any criminals in there.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, exactly. They don't know
because the feds isn't going to tell you, hey, if everybody pleads guilty, you know, we got to average out the sentence. Like it can't be 100 years too. You know, they can't do that, right? Because you didn't murder anybody. You just stole somebody,
it's a
right?
blue. It's a blue.
Blue collar crime. They fixed it. They fixed it for them. You know, for it to work for them.
Yeah.
So for Jasmine Crockett was explaining how other presidents have also, if I'm mistaken, they said that Obama sent the most immigrants out of here, like deported.
Yes. But it was done with class. It was done in a organizational way that how ICE was built. Either they come and pick the person up from when they're in prison, you know what I'm saying, for immigration, or when they come into their immigration meetings and they find that they didn't do something legally as far as marriage or getting here, they hold them there. It's not held in the streets, in the public eye, where they snatching bodies out here like the body snatchers.
Right.
It was done with class.
Right. So let's take a listen to what she states on she calls out Melania Trump on this particular day.
Since we're talking about integrity, I'm confused as to why my Republican colleagues aren't talking about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's family's visas. Let me remind y'all that Melania, the first lady, a model, and when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell level, applied for and was given an EB-1 visa. And what that stands for is an Einstein visa. Now, y'all that don't know, let me tell you how you receive an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having other sustained extraordinary abilities and success in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Last time I checked, the First Lady had none of those accolades under her belt. It doesn't take an Einstein to see that the math ain't mathing here. Nevertheless, what Republicans are doing with this reconciliation process, the travel bans and revoking visas, jeopardizes our national security. It threatens our communities, our higher education, and our economy. Visas like the largely vetted J visas for higher education and M visas for trade, training, attract the next innovators, medical providers, researchers, and educators that we need to build on American success.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to elaborate on that, Sade?
She was a mail order bride. That's
Okay.
it. That's all. He found her on the internet, or probably not the internet. They mailed each other. He saw a picture of her, or he was over there screwing around where she lived at, and seen a pretty young girl that was 16, 17 years old. Yep. And
he been with her that long?
She was young. I think she was young when he met her.
So Melania, how old is Melania right now? She ain't 50 yet. She's still pretty. I ain't gonna take that from her now.
Okay. She's gorgeous. She was young, from what I'm hearing.
Melania Trump, first lady, is 55 years old. I said it, and she's still cute.
Okay, she still got it going on. Yeah,
she do. She's still a nice looking lady. She'll be 55. She'll be 56. 1970 was when she was born, and August 26th. Well, she knows she ain't getting deported. I mean, she is the first lady, so
right.
Everyone is upset that President Trump didn't speak when Alex was murdered in the street, that he sent Melania to speak.
Well, I guess that's equivalent. I'm not sure. Maybe they thought that would show some empathy because she did it. I don't know, but
okay. And so then, here goes Ayanna. Okay. Ayanna speaks to the Republican, to the Congress. So speak it, tell the truth, and shame the devil. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Don't deflect. This is a very public case. You know who George Santos is. You know exactly what he did. We just agreed that, fraud is unacceptable. And you just talked about accountability. You said if people commit fraud and exploit the public good, that they should be incarcerated. Mm-hmm. So this is not a complicated question. So I will give you all one more opportunity. Ms. Robbins, Mr. Hudson, and Ms. Rarick. Raise your hand if you oppose the pardon of George Santos.
Not playing this game.
It's not a game. It's real life. It's not a game at all. Okay, but I will take your refusal to go on record, not only as cowardice, but that you do agree with that pardon of that fraudster.
Okay.
Yeah, so you pardoning a bunch of fraudsters. Right. A bunch of people that have raided the White House or the where the senators and the Congress is at. They went up through there. All of them are pardoned, and a couple of them are ICE agents.
Right. So take another listen.
Moving on. Donald Trump also gave, this has never been done before, presidential pardons to corporations that committed fraud. One example is the crypto company BitMEX that violated U.S. law and was fined $100 million. Now raise your hand if you oppose Trump's pardon of this crypto company.
Not participating.
Of course you're not.
Okay, again, I'll take your refusal to raise your hand in opposition. That means that you support this pardon of this corporation that frauded folks to the tune of $100 million. Yesterday, reclaiming my time. You know the rules of committee?
One way or the other.
The rules of committee? This is my time.
I know that I am
here
not speak
as
a member of the public.
Reclaiming my time. You are not, Mr. Chair.
That's what I know.
You are not in order with the rules of the committee. This is my time.
Okay, tell them, girl.
I asked the questions and you answer, but you're too much of a coward to answer. So we're going to move on. Now, yesterday was the 5-year anniversary, and I want to note of the January 6th insurrection. And on Donald Trump's first day in office, he pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists, including Brian Christopher Mock, who's from Minnesota. Are y'all going to say you don't know who that is? He's from Minnesota. Now, he kicked, shoved, and threw a flagpole at police officers, law enforcement that you claim to support. Yep. And he did all of that in the name of fraud.
Yep.
He was an election denier. So an election fraud lie. Now, he claims he did these things in the name of patriotism, but really he's just a criminal. So raise your hand if you oppose Trump's pardon of this Minnesota individual.
Ma'am, this grandstanding.
See?
Okay, so that was Congressman Ayanna Presley.
Yes, the one with the short hair.
Yeah, she has no hair.
Yeah, she has no hair.
Ayanna Presley. So
I love her. I love Jasmine Crockett.
She continues to check them, right? She continues constantly.
She's backing it with facts.
Right.
You know? It's no fluff.
There is one more that I want you guys to take a listen to as well, where Jasmine Crockett speaks again on let's take it.
The alarm on this fraud for years.
She's talking to James Corner. This is James Corner
from this widespread fraud and accuse investigators of racism. This should not be a partisan issue, but they clearly do not take this issue seriously.
Texas Rep and Senate candidate Jasmine Crockett wasn't about to let Republicans talk about fraud without bringing some receipts.
I just have one quick question. I have not been here the entire hearing, but I don't think this question has been posed for each of you, and we can start at the far end. Do you believe that all Somalis are engaged in fraud? I do not, and I'd like to just yes or no. Next.
Of course not.
Absolutely not. We have good Somali people in our state.
Oh,
absolutely not.
Okay, thank you so much. I just want to make sure our level set, because it seems like we want to continue to, especially as we just heard those particular articles entered into the record, we want to continue to just make it seem as if you are Somali, then somehow you are a fraudster. And this administration has decided that it wants a target on their backs. And so when my colleague, Ms. Randall, decided that she wanted to talk about the threats that are being made towards various Somali people, the reason she brought it up is because this particular side of the aisle has a tendency of, if one person does something bad, especially if they are an immigrant, then we are going to cast aside that entire community. So I wanted to level set, and I appreciate your honesty, because that's something that we very rarely get from our colleagues on the other side of the aisle. In fact, if we want to talk about fraud, I got a lot of fraud that we're going to talk about, because we're going to get into this, but I am very curious to hear. Let me ask you, Mr. Ballou, are you aware of allegations that $50,000 in taxpayer dollars have been given to someone that is currently sitting in this administration by the name of Tom Homan? Are you aware? Okay, that's a yes.
I am.
Okay. And last I checked, and correct me if I'm wrong if you have different information, but he was given that $50,000 in exchange for being able to provide contracts and kickbacks to people as soon as Trump was going to get into office. The DOJ was actually investigating this, but as soon as Trump got into office, last I checked, he actually said, go ahead and throw away that case.
So it was a Department of Justice investigation, and he accepted the money from an undercover FBI agent in cash.
Are you aware as to whether or not we ever got that $50,000 back?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Are you aware as to whether or not this committee has decided to investigate that?
I'm not.
Are you aware as to whether or not any committee in Congress has decided to investigate the fact that we know that he took $50,000 from an undercover officer, and yet we still don't have that money, nor does he have any charges?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's get into it. We're living through the most corrupt presidential administration in American history, a $300 million ballroom, a $230 million payout from the Department of Justice because the president got his feelings hurt because he has to be investigated for being a criminal. Hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars spent at Trump-owned properties around the country, Trump-branded wine being sold at the Coast Guard exchanges, American taxpayer dollars being spent on DHS propaganda ads on Truth Social, awarding federal contracts to corporations in exchange for campaign contributions. Kash Patel flew his girlfriend around the country on a multi-million-dollar jet that taxpayers paid for. Kristi Noem gave companies she's affiliated with hundreds of millions of tax dollars, then went out and spent another $200 million on 2 private jets for her travel. For 12 months, this administration has been taking billions of taxpayer dollars from American people and have been giving it away to their own companies in the form of tax cuts, government contracts, or other government funded subsidies. So Congress has a role in getting rid of fraud, I will admit that, in any federally funded government program. However, I think the fraud that the American people are concerned about is that the Republicans are taking away Americans' health care so that ultra billionaires can get more tax cuts. The real fraud is the dehumanization and demonization of the working class Americans and immigrants to distract folks away from corporate socialism that's happening because of the Republicans. So this is truly the definition of throwing away the baby with the bathwater. The Republican philosophy is that if the cost of living for the average American increases, they're on their own. But if the cost of doing business increases for the wealthiest people on earth, well, then it's the government job to bail them out. But I want to get to my last question because, Mr. Ballou, I got to give you a chance. You've been issuing pardons for numerous people who have defrauded the American people. And Republicans on this committee, yeah, just as quiet as the room just got, right? So, Mr. Ballou, talk to me about how the Trump administration has welcomed fraud across government by purging DOJ attorneys and shuttering ethics office across the federal government.
Well, one of the things that's been a common theme in this discussion so far is potential government employee involvement in some of these schemes. That hasn't been proven yet, but it does seem to be alleged. The concern that I have is the office that would prosecute that in the Department of Justice, the Public Integrity Section, has been largely defunded and decimated.
Thank you so much. My time has expired, but I do have some UCs, Mr. Chairman.
You want to do them now?
I do.
Okay.
The first one is from Truth Out. Trump grants clemency to executive who led $205 million Medicare fraud scheme. The next one is Trump commutes sentence of Dr. Solomon Melgen, eye doctor, found guilty of Medicare fraud. The next one, healthcare fraudster Philip Esframaze is latest Trump clemency recipient to be arrested. He defrauded more than $1 billion from Medicare.
Without objection to order.
Trump pardons nursing home owner and supporter convicted of $7 million in tax evasion.
Without objection to order.
Trump
and we'll want all that stuff to put in the record. So.
I will. I got you. Trump pardons cost victims and taxpayers $1.3 billion, House Judiciary Committee Democrats review says.
Without objections.
Okay.
Without objections, meaning, yes, it has happened. It is going on. All this is being said in Congress, guys, as we're looking at riots and ICE stuff going on. These people are still trying to work in the background in Congress, having meetings every day and bringing up all the fraud. And we sitting up here paying all our taxpayer dollars is going into Trump and his family's pocket. Do you hear me? All your hard working money, your taxes that you paying in, look, you finna start paying it in now. You're filing your taxes and you finna start paying it in. It's going in his flush fund, his plate fund. Okay, we got to get bright here, get smart and intelligent, because baby, every American here is gonna be broke.
Yeah,
outside.
That's the point.
With no freaking medical.
That's the point. Here's the point of it. The point of it is to pour and turn the United States against each other, right? Middle class and poor, there is none, right? They want to make all of the rich and then bring all of the immigrants in. Bring immigrants in to start over, to wash Black and Native American. That's it. That's it. They know what they're tired of paying the Native Americans for their own land. They're not. We've been harping on since the Civil War that we won, that we're supposed to get reparations. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, right? Okay. So the only thing left to do is they rather their own regime go down and think that they're an assumption that their bloodline, that their lineage is going to win, that it's going to continue on, but nothing can keep lasting this long. That's just bad, right? It cannot. And the fact that Minnesota is the example of standing up against what the world is going to face next if it doesn't stop here, because they're already heading to making rules in Indiana. I seen today that I believe I had sent it to you, that you can't even go against ICE. Their rules are different in their state versus us. We have a choice not to let you in our house. You have to come with a judicial warrant, right? But
Indiana,
they've even been barging in after that, leaving houses open, leaving cars in the middle of shit. Come on, man.
You don't do that. You don't do a dog like that.
Yeah.
You don't. Y'all got dogs in y'all houses. Y'all pet it to death and feed them and make sure they eat. Go outside and use it. You make sure they clothe. You make sure they have booties on their feet when they go outside. Yeah. But these people,
they close the dogs like the children,
leaving people cars running outside. They belong as persons and IDs just sitting out.
I want to
but you know what, Lena, I was thinking about this. Since he's pardoning all these people, right? Like, hey, just say, hey, that's cool. Yeah, that's fine. In the prison system, get rid of it. Take it off the sentencing guideline. Right. Don't charge people for fraud. Don't sentence them. Don't give them a felony charge for fraud. Any non-violent crime, petty stealing and all that stuff, don't even put it on the sentencing guidelines. Just put violent crimes, assault, maybe
assault, a harm to people.
Harm to people. Change the sentencing guidelines, sir. If that's what we're doing.
Right.
Change where if you don't believe you see 5 different videos of one account of something going on. Change where you got the police surveillance and a drug dealer controlled buys and mess.
Right.
Change that. That's not and void.
Right.
It ain't gonna work. Because you know what? Because y'all splicing and dicing video and audio all the time now. It's showing right now. So get rid of all that. People stop. No. Police department, get rid of it. You can't even control me. Control us or buy or control this. None of that. I don't believe you. That was spliced and diced.
Right. I wanted to read, there was an article that states that the sports entertainment world is reeling after Minnesota Vikings legend Randy Moss, visibly shaken, confirmed that Alex Preddy, the 37-year-old ICU nurse fatally shot on Saturday, was a relative of his.
That's fake stuff, baby.
That's fake?
Everybody, don't even know. Yeah, they've been sitting. They did it with Ice Cubes. People just doing that clickbaiting, honey.
Somebody says, I've seen this exact article attached to pictures of 3 different players at this point.
Yes, we can't believe everything a lot of stuff like printed. If it ain't, I kind of fact check everything because these people are playing a lot of games, and it's usually like people from overseas making these fake pages.
Well, that's what they put. They put that out there. They sure did. Well, that's what we got. It's sad that there's lots of other political news going on in the world, but being as though Minnesota is the poster state for ICE, and we've lost 2 lives in the last 30 days. Hopefully we won't lose any more. Right. There's protests going on outside right now.
Yeah, they're still protesting.
And they have sent the head of border control out of here, but they replaced him with another Nazi looking and acting
Mr. Holman.
Yeah. So at this point, they want to buy our state. They're trying to change it to red, and we're not going. So
yeah, because he's trying. What he did, Christy Nolan asked for our voters' registrations. Come on now, you don't do that.
And you're bold. And from my understanding, they're trying to impeach her.
Yes, all of them are about to be impeached. Today, they have raided Fulton County, where the voters and going into the voters' records in Georgia.
In Georgia?
Yes, he's retaliating against all of them because of it turned blue. That state turned blue. It never was blue, in 2020. Right. You know what I'm saying? And he feels he lost the election due to that. So he's backtracking and saying, well, I'm finna lock everybody up. Yeah. Now you're finna go through all this paperwork and change some stuff because that's what y'all are famous doing.
Right.
Finger F in the paperwork.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in, ladies,
Thank
gentlemen,
you. Have a good
and
night.
others.